Good morning to everybody.
It's me, sorry.
Good morning.
Sorry, that's fine.
We're getting feedback. Give me a second.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. That
That's
was
all right.
me.
Sort of eerie music, I'll say.
was
Anyway,
Halloween.
hello, and again, thank you for joining the One Ohio Recovery Foundation Board meeting, November meeting. I would like to ask Lori now to do the roll call, please.
Director Bruce. Director Amen. Director Whiston. Director Handrew. Director Ayers.
Second. Can everybody hear Lori? Okay, all right.
And I see Director Amen, you're on the line.
Sorry, I had connection issues. I'm back.
And Ayers raised her hand. Okay.
And Ayers is on the line.
Okay. I'll go back to the top. Director Bruce. Director Whiston. Director Handrew. Director Mason.
Here.
Director Mayer.
Here.
Director Powell. Director St. John.
Here.
Director Worsbicky.
She's here.
Here.
Director Dodge.
Here.
Director Dreehouse.
Here.
Director Hojado.
Here.
Director Tyler Lee. Director Mattia. Director Piccirilli.
Here.
Director Johnson.
Here.
Director Silac.
Here.
Director Gregoire.
Here.
Director Kidd. Director Lee. Director White. Director Radcliffe.
Here.
Director Roizen. Director Baker. Director Claymire.
Here.
Director Terry Johnson. Director Rob Blaisdell.
And we do have Director Silac and Director Winston. Did you have them?
And Director Roizen is here too.
And Director Royson, okay. Are we at 17 or what number?
I have 17.
We need 18 for business.
Yes.
Okay, we have 17. What I would propose is that we informally go through the agenda, and if the 18th board member calls in, then we'll have a quorum at that time. That sound good? All right. All right, so again, I won't do any formal votes because we're at 17, but I'll proceed with the agenda. So before we start our business, I just want to remind people that if you can finalize, I don't know, we were taking photos in September for our headshots for, our board. If you haven't done that, please reach out to Amy and we'll make those arrangements. Also, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the retirement of Jim Quinn, our finance manager, who will be retiring at the end of December. Jim and I go back the days of the 90s when we were both at the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. But I think we have a quick video, don't we, from Jim White?
Yes.
We can't hear this.
Jim's
sound.
not normally so quiet, so
Asada, you might need to unmute yourself in the Zoom for the
It
audio.
has been a
to
real
play.
pleasure getting to know you both personally. Hi, Jim. I'm very sorry I was unable to attend today's meeting to wish you the very best in your retirement. Selfishly, I was hoping this day would never come. I've really enjoyed working with you over the last year. You've been a tremendous resource for me, and I thank you for this. It has been a real pleasure getting to know you both personally and professionally. I have a great deal of respect and admiration for the work you've done on behalf of One Ohio. Your passion and dedication for the organization and its mission will leave a lasting impression not only on me, but your colleagues. I hope we'll stay in touch. Please know that I'm just a phone call away. And thank you again for all that you've done for One Ohio. I wish you the very best in your retirement.
Thank you. And let me add, we do now have a quorum. We've had 2 more board members sign in. Are you ready for me to ask Evan? So again, thank you to Jim White for his thoughtful remarks. And now the chair of the Audit and Finance Committee, Evan Claremeyer, actually would like to say a few words too. Evan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will just, for the rest of the board, thank Jim for all of his hard work. He actually wanted to retire a couple of months ago, maybe even a year ago, but the foundation asked him to continue his service to the foundation as we worked through this pretty significant period of growth. And he has been the steady hand of making sure we professionalize the finance side of the foundation. From when he started with the foundation, I don't believe we even had bank accounts. He's been the person who has helped us run down the details of all of these payments coming in and what we can expect from all of the distributions from all of the different payments for our grantees. And I just want to say he has done a significant amount of work. And I think from where we were to where we are, we wouldn't be as professional of an organization as we are without Jim's help. So thank you for agreeing to stay on for several more months to make sure we are in a good spot before you step into retirement, and just congratulations.
Thank you for your remarks, Evan. And again, Jim, on behalf of everybody, we absolutely wish you the best and a long, healthy retirement. I'd like to now introduce Iqbal Haider, who has joined the foundation as our Finance and Compliance Manager. Welcome, Iqbal. We're looking forward to working with you.
Same here. Good morning, honorable board members and everyone. My name is Iqbal Haider. I joined the One Ohio Foundation this week. Today is my 3rd day. So as a manager of finance and compliance, I'm very excited to be part of this team and look forward to working with you all and support the foundation's mission and advance our shared commitment to transparency and impact. Thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you. And in your board packet is the employee bio sheet. And we'll continue to update this and share this with you on a regular basis. So you have all the current information on One Ohio staff. You can expect an updated. You can expect to receive an updated one at the next board meeting, as we already have a new addition to our.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And next, we'll move on to the approval of today's agenda. Again, we do now have a quorum. There is one proposed amendment revising the executive session item to the grantee contract and legal matters. Are there any other additional proposed edits to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as edited? And I see Michael Rosen's raised his hand, looking for a second.
Second, Greta Mayer.
Greta Mayer seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the motion carries to accept the agenda as amended. So next, you also have in your packet the draft minute meetings from our October board meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October meeting?
So moved, Worsbicky.
Jeanette makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second, Jonathan Lee.
Jonathan, was that Jonathan Lee?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we have Jonathan Lee. Okay, thank you. Very good. Again, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, and the motion carries. We now have the opportunity for our mission moment. I'll turn the floor over to Sarah Anston to present this month's mission moment segment focused on one of our grantees. Sarah, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. It's always a great day, great board meeting when we get to hear from one of our grantees. And today we are joined by Danielle Gray, the Executive Director of the Ohio Recovery Housing, who is going to not only talk about their work as a statewide association to ensure quality recovery housing, but also about their work as they are a grantee in a number of our regions. They actually have 2 different projects with us, kind of focused on 2 different areas to support quality recovery housing. So Danielle, I will turn it over to you and just let us know when we should advance the slides for you.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you all to the Ohio Foundation Board. We are incredibly proud to be here and to be selected as a grantee. I am not seeing our slides up, so okay, there it is. All right, but you can go on to the next one, which is on our mission. So our mission here at Ohio Recovery Housing is to increase access to affordable, high quality recovery housing for people with substance use disorders. And on the next slide, you can see a little bit more about what we do to achieve that mission. We are most well known for our certification process. So as the state affiliate of the National Alliance of Recovery Residences, we are responsible for maintaining a review process for standards of excellence in recovery housing. So the National Alliance sets the standards, and then we have a responsibility to make sure that homes that are certified in Ohio are implementing all of those standards on a regular basis. We also do other things as well. We develop a lot of recovery housing resources. So we provide training, technical assistance, brief advice to operators who want to call our office. We also produce a lot of best practice reports and guides. We have a lot of that information available for free on our website. And then we are incredibly proud of our CAS tool. We are the first in the nation to develop a tool that estimates the need for recovery housing throughout our communities. So that way we can compare how much recovery housing we have to how much is needed. And then we also do a lot of work on educating and informing on recovery housing, especially at our local level, making sure we reduce that stigma and that we work with local governments, local zoning boards, so that way we can expand recovery housing in areas of need. And we do a lot of research as well. We collect data across thousands of recovery homes, and then we use that data to advance recovery housing as an evidence-based practice, as well as to develop strategies for our recovery homes so that way they can engage in continuous quality improvement. So we do a lot of training and educating our recovery housing operators on how to use data, not only to tell their story, but to engage in continuous quality improvement. And on the next slide, I have the definition of recovery housing. I know many of you are familiar with it because of your work here at the One Ohio Foundation, but I always include this definition just so we can level set and make sure we are on the same page. And a recovery housing residence means housing for individuals recovering from alcohol use disorder or drug addiction that provides an alcohol-free and drug-free living environment, peer support, assistance with obtaining alcohol and drug addiction services, and other alcoholism and drug addiction recovery assistance. So just the main points of that definition that I always bring out is that recovery housing is housing. It's not a treatment setting, it's not a facility, and we really try here at ORH to make sure all of the homes are safe and home-like and are meeting standards for quality, and it really is a housing environment as opposed to a clinical or treatment environment. And I'm sure many of you are also aware of recent changes to Ohio's laws. So starting in January 1st of 2025, recovery homes need to be appropriately credentialed in order to operate. And so that means they need to either be certified by Ohio Recovery Housing, they need to be appropriately chartered by Oxford House, or they have to have CARF accreditation as of January 1st, 2025. And then once that CARF accreditation expires, they have to transition to either the Oxford House charter or the NAR ORH certification. And or there's also a caveat for newer programs. If they have their application for certification in and they've been open less than 18 months, they are allowed to operate in Ohio. And on the next slide, I talk a little bit about referrals. So starting January 1st of 2025, community behavioral mental health providers may only refer to recovery housing residences that are on the Ohio MOS registry. So you can advance to the next slide. And the programs must meet the credential requirement in order to be on the registry. So even if this is someone's own treatment program or their own other program that they operate, in order to make that referral, that home needs to be appropriately credentialed and listed on the registry. And providers must document all referrals that they make to recovery housing residences. And so you can go on to the next slide. And so hopefully that's a little bit of enough background information very quickly on our organization. And then we were just thrilled to receive grants from the One Ohio Foundation. And one of them was repairs funds to help us give out these funds to recovery housing residences to make critical repairs. So that way they can do things like purchase essential furniture, make critical repairs to their homes, so that way they can either obtain or maintain certification. We do a quality review to make sure that all the repairs are needed in order to obtain or maintain certification, and that the items are essential for meeting quality standards. And so far, we have helped 7 organizations repair 12 different properties, and these organizations serve over 105 different individuals every year. And on the next slide, I've got some examples. So you can advance to the next slide. We were able to help a home make a critical repair of their water line. And if anyone has ever had to do that for their own home, you know how expensive that could be and how troubling that could be. But that ensured that that home had the running water and things necessary. So again, very basic things that were needed for them to obtain certification or maintain their certification. We were able to help them with that. And then other things are smaller, but they're just as important and critical. So we've helped people repair windows. We helped people purchase a refrigerator. Also, we helped an organization repair their ductwork, so that way their furnace could work appropriately. And then many homes needed to purchase smoke detectors or smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. Those are needed for the quality standards. And we were able to help them make those purchases and install those critical safety requirements. So you can go on to the next slide. And these repair funds really help allow homes to meet their quality standards. And as small organizations, there are often not funds available to make these critical repairs. They often fall into that that category when you're applying for grants or things like that, where they're not necessarily like like an ongoing everyday operating expense, but they're not really a capital purchase either. So it's very hard to find funds for them. And then also when it comes to government grants and government funding, many organizations are prohibited from using those dollars to develop reserves of funds. So as you know, many nonprofits who rely on those types of funding sources, a critical repair can be extremely detrimental because, like I said, again, it's not necessarily something that they can put in their grants as an operating expense, but it's not really a capital expense either. And then also when they're operating and they're getting, say, SOAR dollars, the SOAR dollars, you cannot use SOAR dollars to help you build a reserve of funds. So you have, money available to pay out if you need a repair. So these funds really help fill that gap. Especially for a lot of our smaller operators or smaller programs who just might not have those resources, and their other option would have been to raise resident rent. And so we're really, really glad to be able to have these funds to help with these critical repairs and help reduce any barriers to certification that homes have so they can continue to operate. And you can go on to the next slide. We also received funds to do what we call peer-to-career, our house manager trainings. And this helped us develop and implement a really comprehensive training for those who are doing everyday work within recovery homes. Prior to this, there really was no set training available for these individuals. Many of them are peer supporters, and they may have received their peer support certification, but there's a lot of work that happens and needs to happen in recovery homes that's really different than peer support. So for example, like the type of conflict management you have in a recovery home, how do you help in a situation where residents are eating other residents' food? It happens all the time. And often it's those individuals in the house manager role who are responsible for managing that type of conflict. And we developed this training to help them build those skills. We also developed the training to help them understand some of the things that they were being asked to do, why it's so important, how it relates to the standards. So things like checking in on everybody every day, things like that. And so now that there's these modules developed, we've got the curriculum set and we've got trained leaders, so that way we can continue to operate these trainings into the future. And so far we've trained our 12 trainers, and we are expanding our capacity, and we did that during our first and second quarter. And we have started running our first cohorts. I believe they're finishing up this week. And we've also posted our self-paced virtual content for everyone to access. And we also created a networking support group. So that way individuals across the cohorts, as well as those who have not been able to participate in training or are interested in training, can come together and have a continued connection after the training has been completed. And then while this is not a part of our One Ohio Foundation grant, it is helpful to allow us to really leverage the funds that we were given and receive maximum impact, because we did have funding to build an online learning management system, and that is launching later this winter, and it's going to be able to provide us an even better user experience and even better tools for all of our house manager trainees. So even though that component's not really funded by One Ohio, I did want to bring it up as a way that these funds were able to leverage other dollars to receive maximum impact out of different projects coordinating together. And so with that, you can move on to my last slide, just saying thank you for helping us build our infrastructure here in Ohio. And my final slide is just our contact information if you have future questions for me. And hopefully I've left enough time here to answer any questions that you may have about us or our grant projects.
Daniela, I don't have a question. This is Tom Gregoire. I just want to thank you for the work that ORH does. I'm well aware of your significant impact and the important role of recovery housing in the continuum of recovery. So appreciate you. And it's fun to see the real difference that you're making.
Thank you.
Well said, Tom. And thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing about your work with recovery housing across our many regions as a current grantee and as a statewide organization. Again, thank you very much. I would like now to turn over to Alicia to go over our 2026 board member calendar.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for participating, many of you, in the survey. We have been working to develop this calendar, but wanted to do so with you in mind and what works best for you. And so included in your board packet, as well as on the screen, there is a schedule for a calendar for next year. And again, this was informed by the feedback we received from you in that survey. Our goal for the 2026 meeting calendar was really to accommodate as many of you as possible, as well as make sure that there were more space. We really heard this from our staff team and from some of you, that we needed more time between board meetings to do the committee meeting work and have the committees meet. And so what you see in front of you is somewhat similar to the calendar that we had last year or this year, with the fact that these are Wednesday meetings, but the Wednesdays aren't necessarily the second Wednesday of every month. We really looked at the calendar and identified things like Labor Day or other holidays that we wanted to keep in mind, or election day. And so we tried to kind of play around with the dates, and we hope we landed in a spot that you all will feel comfortable with to move forward next year. And the other thing that we really wanted to lean into with this calendar is the time commitment. And you'll notice that there's some varying times depending on the day. And so although there are less meetings in the year, there are 2 meetings that are extended. As you can see, March and September, where we plan for some intense work. As an example, in March, we really want to talk about our financial spending policy. I know the investment committee is really working hard to get some models together for us. And then in September, we want to do again, similar to what we did this year, with an extended opportunity for us to celebrate Recovery Month and also have some moments of reflection and kind of connection with all of us together. So this is our proposed calendar, certainly open for discussion on this, Chair.
Thank you very much, and I like the way this is organized, because again, it's gonna let the committees get their work done and not be rushed. By doing the committee work, it really broadens all the involvement, which is what we're really all about. So at this point, again, thank you, Alicia. At this point, we'd like to go into executive session. So I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss the grantee contract and other legal matters. For those of you who are on the phone, we'll reconvene on this link when executive session concludes. Until this time, the meeting will be on hold. You do not need to sign off. You can remain on this line until we can reconvene. For the board members joining the executive session virtually, please go to the second link in your calendar to enter into the private Zoom meeting. But before all that, I'd like to have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss grantee contract and legal matters.
So moved.
Second,
Is that-
second, Dwayne Picciarelli.
Did you get those, Lori? Okay. We will do a roll call.
Director Amen,
Yes.
Director Whiston, Director Handrew, Director Ayers,
She waved her hand.
Director Mason,
Yes.
Director Mayer,
Yes.
Director St. John,
Yes.
Director Worsbicky,
Yes.
Director Dodge,
Yes.
Director Dreehouse,
Yes.
Director Hohato,
Yes.
Director Piccirilli,
Yes.
Director Greta Johnson,
Yes.
Director Silac,
Yes.
Director Gregoire,
Yes.
Director Lee,
Yes.
Director Radcliffe,
Yes.
Director Roizen,
Yes.
Director Baker,
Yes.
Director Claymeyer,
That completed? Okay. So we are now in executive session. I'll go ahead and join the new link. Thank you, everybody, for so quickly moving over to the first platform. So I'm now convening the regular session. I'm requesting a motion that the board authorizes the foundation to terminate a grant agreement and pursue reimbursement from Single Parents Rock. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
I have Julie making a motion, and I thought Greta seconded. Greta, Mayor, I thought I had you seconding. Anyway, any discussion on the motion?
I just got just a point. Do we first have to vote to come out of public or executive session in a public meeting first?
No.
No.
Once the agenda of the executive session is met, the chairperson can adjourn, which is what I did, barring a procedural motion by a member.
Okay,
So we
thank
will
you.
adjourn for Second session. So we are now in open session. Any discussion on the motion regarding the reimbursement? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next motion is to respond to the Ohio Division of Cannabis Control Public Education Outreach Request for proposal with the understanding that One Ohio is responsible and will meet the 10% fundraising match required. I need a motion and a second.
Worsbicky, so moved. I'll second.
Rosen and Jeanette. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much. We now move on to committee reports. And so I'll turn the floor over to Audit and Finance Chair Committee, Evan Klingmeyer, for the report of the Audit and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, we'd like to highlight the September financial report, which was in your board packet. September expenses are consistent compared to prior months, and we are all within budget expectations. Remaining budgeted amounts are projected to be sufficient to cover the remaining expenses anticipated in the fourth quarter. And based on expected hiring delays and not spending the investment management fee in 2025. The significant portion of the September expenses incurred this month was for the grant support system, as you can see on the slides in front of you, for grant evaluation services. This expense was included in the budget and within expectations. Additionally, $260 million was moved to a money market account during September as approved at previous board meetings. In September as well, if we go to the next slide, you will see that total grant payments made for September were $1.89 million. And I apologize, can you go for one more slide? September payment of grants. Are there any comments or questions or anything that Jim wants to add on the September financials? All right, hearing none. Mr. Chair, I believe we need a motion to approve the September financial report. So I will ask for a motion to approve the financial report for September.
Is there a motion? Well, I'll allow Evan to make the motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second. Worsbicky.
Then that seconds the motion. Any discussion on the motion to approve the September financials as presented? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? And the motion carries. Continue, Evan.
All right, thank you. SEO Group, which is our engaged audit firm, has completed the foundation's 2024 990 tax form, and we do plan to file that with the IRS by the deadline of November 17th. Completed documents will be emailed to the board members and will also be added to the website. And then the Audit and Finance Committee's next meeting is December 9th at 2 p.m.
Thank you very much. Very well done. We'll now move on to the Executive Committee report. The Executive Committee would like to thank all the board members who participated in the 2025 Board Satisfaction Survey. The committee is currently reviewing your feedback and will utilize this information to direct future decisions of the board. I'd like to now turn it over to Keith and Licious to walk us through the code of regulations that we have been working on. Keith and Alicia.
I'm happy to kick this off, Keith, and please let me know when you want to chime in.
Sure.
You know, Keith has been leading a mini subcommittee of the executive committee to help review the code of regulations. In your board packets, you should have the current code of regulations alongside the suggested revisions that we're going to walk through this morning. And really focusing on, us really being in our third or fourth year, depending on how you look at it, of operations. How we perhaps need to clean some things up to more closely align with the organization and how we're evolving. So the first change that was proposed here and will be recommended by the executive committee for your all approval and consideration today is the recognition that early on there was an amendment made to the Code of Regulations, but there was some cleanup to align with that amendment. And so what our current language speaks to is an annual meeting of the board shall be held in May of even numbered years at the time and place fixed by the board. Well, even number years kind of represents every other year. So we would just like to clean up anywhere it mentions annual to create the space for biennial meetings to align with the rest of that sentence. And so there are a few references of that we would like to clean up.
So again, the change is annual to be biennial, biennial, actually.
Yep.
I think what you'll find is as we go through this conversation, we really just wanted to clean up some of the language that was either redundant or just needed adjusted as we've gone through a couple years of this and make sure that it's a little bit more accurately reflects what we're currently seeing and what we've seen over the last couple years.
The next item. This next item is one that was a discussion around supporting our committees. The current language speaks to the designation of such committees and delegation thereunto shall not operate to relieve the board or any individual director of any responsibility imposed by law. And so this was a recognition from our legal review. Andy Ferris, if you're on the line, can you speak to this one? Hoping he's still there. Okay. So after legal review of the document, this was contradictory language to the role and purpose of the executive committee as listed in the current Code of Regulations. It allows the executive committee certain powers in your current code language to operate on behalf of the full board as needed. And so this language conflicts with that language. And so to remove that confliction, we have proposed that the designation of such committees, with the exception of the executive committee, be included here. And I think I'm going to take this one.
Okay, and the next one is the current language is the chairperson shall be appointed by members of the respective committees by a vote of all the committee members. And then we propose changing it when a committee has less than 5 members, the chairman of the committee may be appointed by the board chair with the approval of the executive committee. Committee shall select the chairman on a biennial basis. And part of this issue has been that some of our committees have been operating with literally actually less than 4. So this is also a reminder for everybody that we need more involvement on committees, especially, for example, the investment committee. And I actually also believe the budget and finance committee, we need more involvement.
We would also love more involvement in this one-person subcommittee also.
Keith is saying more help with the Code of Regulations.
Right. Thank you, Keith. And that's a good example.
Well, this is now bled over into my church governance job also. So,
what's the next item then, or is that it?
I believe again, a recognition of the biennial meeting is this one as well, to just clean up. Officers will be elected at that biennial meeting instead of an annual meeting. And then do we have one more? Okay. And then again, another reference to the biennial meeting, just to kind of, again, clean up the language as well. And that
Thank you.
is all. So we would need a motion there.
So can I have a motion to approve the amendments to the Code of Regulation as recommended by the Executive Committee?
Mr. Chairperson, can I make a quick comment about the changes prior to the motion being made? Just something I caught on the last slide. I think all the changes are excellent. Nice work. I don't want to critique any of those, but I wondered if chairperson might be a better word to use rather than chairman, just to keep that consistent throughout all the changes in our articles.
Do the prior ones, instead of chair, say chairperson? Can you?
Okay, yeah, we.
Instead of chairman, yeah, or just chair. Thank you.
It looks like they're all chair.
Are they all
If you-
chair?
If you go back to a slide, it said chairman right there.
I do remember,
Oh, I
yeah,
see
okay.
it. Okay, we.
So then for consistency's sake, the motion will be that they'll all actually say chair. Is that what
Thank
we
you.
want? Okay. Very good. Thank you. So then Greta, do you have the motion again, inclusive of the edit where it just says chair? All right.
I do. Thank
I need a
you.
second. Absolutely. And I need a second to the motion.
Second.
Second.
I think that was Michael Rosen. Thank you very much. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you very much. I'd like to now move to the investment committee report. But again, thank you, Keith and Alicia, for your work on the Code of Regulations. And I'll turn it over to Avi Shadwick, who will be reporting on the investment committee.
Yes, thank you. Can everybody hear me talking through the library sounds? Okay, I see some head nods. I'm obviously presenting on behalf of Jim White. As we saw from his video earlier today, he wasn't able to attend with us today. So he sends his regards and asked me to report out on behalf of the committee. So just 2 points. The first, just to circle back on an update on the money market account with PNC. As you heard in the financial statements from Evan, in the 262 million being fully transferred over, we are fully operational with PNC with that enhanced money market strategy. We met with them to get an overview of the portfolio, and things are going really well. In the future, we do expect to have some regular reports that we'll be sharing out with the committee and also the full board. So more to come there, but just wanted to let you know all of that is going really well. And then the next topic that I know many of you have been part of a lot of conversations around since the inception of the board is around the investment advisor. So we did send out the RFP for the investment advisor or OCIO model, and we sent it to 19 firms. We actually received 16 responses. So speaking of all of the great work that committee members do when they get to be part of committees, our committee members are actually busy scoring those proposals. They're going to get their responses back to us tomorrow, so we can actually narrow it down to 4 firms to interview. So we're really excited about this foundational work that the committee is doing that will really give us some more information and set us on a path with our long-term investing strategy. So that's just a quick update for you all. Wanted you to know that that work is underway, and we hope that we'll have more to talk about in the coming meetings about the selection of that firm, and then also some of those financial conversations at the March meeting. Just the last note, as a staff person, just want to really underscore and thank all the committee members. This is a big undertaking. We have a lot more time we're going to spend together in November and December to make this decision. And a special thanks to Jim White, as he's spent a lot of time getting us to this place. And I don't know if if anybody else had from the committee, Dr. Roizen, if I missed anything else that you wanted to add, or any other committee members.
No, other than you are correct, it is an enormous amount of work reviewing these proposals.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah.
Well, again, and thank you, Amy, for that report and pitch hitting there. Even though baseball season's over, I can still say that. But I'd like to now move over to Grant Oversight Committee, Tom Gregoire.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. As long as we're touting the hard work of our committee, I bet highly on my group. They're a good investment too. We had a very busy fall among our group. And you've kind of heard, as we discussed this, what's up with us. We've given a lot of input on the RFP and question set, and that's been developed. Staff's been working with that feedback. It's finalizing something we'll see shortly. We'll see, I think, at our next meeting, but Sarah or anybody can correct me. I think we'll see shortly a report from our grant evaluators on what they're up to. And really, the staff's just got their head down and is preparing us for the next reporting period and for getting this next grant out here. Given the progress that we've made this far, we're going to pause our grant committee meetings for the next 2 months, but you're on call. If they have questions, they'll holler us back. But we feel good about where we are and happy to take a question.
Tom,
And sorry for the shirt. Whenever I'm in a Zoom meeting, I try to get a shirt that doesn't vibrate, but I didn't choose well today. It looks kind of bad. Anyway, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, what was your comment?
I was going to say, we're all incredibly proud of the work that you and your committee have been performing for the last 2 years. It's really the very heartbeat of One Ohio is the Grant Oversight Committee. And so thank you so much to all those who've been so involved in the committee.
Appreciate that.
Is there any more under new business and announcements? Are there any board members that have any announcements to make at this time?
Yes, if I could make one announcement, I think we should thank, if you will, Dr. Oz for getting the GLP-1s, which also decrease addiction to both alcohol and drugs, on a most favored nation status. This promises, and it will be in Medicare and Medicaid, and be essentially, as I understand it from him, free to the Medicaid population and the recovery population. And I think the data is pretty clear. This will be a major breakthrough in recovery treatment.
Dr. Michael, you've explained this to me and maybe others in the past, but you care to elaborate just a little bit more on the revelation, I'll say, with regard to the crossover effect of this medication?
So the GLP-1s decrease craving for food. It turns out that as a separate side effect from their management of glucose and protection, they were developed to protect the beta cell of the pancreas and to help it survive. That does that. But as a side effect, it decreased food cravings and food noise. It turns out that especially Mounjaro or Trepazide, which is Mounjaro and Zepbound, also decrease in now randomized controlled trials, alcohol craving and at least opioid, maybe other drug, but at least opioid has been studied, cravings. The fact that these were not in the armamentarium for that purpose in Medicare or Medicaid usage or on the exchanges was because they would break the budget at the $500 per month wholesale cost. They now are getting it for $50 a month wholesale cost, the same as in Great Britain and India, and lower than many other nations, but that's the cost, and they expect to make that either free or very nominal to Medicare and Medicaid recipients with those conditions. It is now not approved for those conditions officially, but Dr. Oz is working hard, literally hard, to get it approved for those uses, which will help our recovery efforts, I believe, substantially.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that more elaborate explanation. Again, it's very much wonderful news. So that ends the new business and announcements. Reminder, our next meeting is January 14th. We're giving you December off. But January 14th of an even numbered year, 2026. But I will take a motion to adjourn. I see
So moved.
Michael. I
Second.
think seconded, all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas.